Good morning. I'm Dr. Rajani Suresh. I am a faculty member of the Department of MBA, part of the School of Business and Management, St. Aloysius University, Mangalore. I was very intrigued when I was asked to speak on the role of the teacher, because currently students ask me whether there's any role of the classroom in current education. Thanks to MOOC, that is your massive online courses, and platforms like edX and Coursera, higher education, many people feel, has evolved beyond the classroom. And in the era of generative AI and agentic AI, can everything that the teacher does be taken over by artificial intelligence? I think this is an interesting question, and I can provide my take on it. I think classrooms are microcosms of society. The learning that happens in the classroom is not merely from the learning source. Especially in higher education, it's a very interactive form of learning. And what the student gains is not just knowledge capital, which he can gain from any online course, but he also gains something that I would call psychological capital, where he feels a sense of accomplishment, where he feels a sense of elation, where he feels that I'm capable of doing certain things. The internet could teach you support functions, but only a real-world classroom could teach you leadership functions, could teach you critical thinking, could teach you divergent thinking, could teach you problem solving. And this is something in higher education that the teacher does not do all by himself or herself. It's actually a process. And the process involves peer learning, peer mentoring, classroom teaching, application, projects, internships, all of which go into building the sum total of the intellectual capital, the psychological capital, and the social capital of that student. And this in turn will develop his skills. And after the MBA program, he is able to get better employed. And we give him equipments for lifelong learning. We teach him lessons that he might not be able to learn outside. For example, in the MBA program, as soon as he gets in, we have a very robust mentoring system. Every teacher has around 10 to 15 mentees, and they meet at least 4 hours a week in a language lab and in an Excel lab, wherein there is peer learning heavily monitored by the teachers. At the end of that peer learning exercise, most of the students come out with greater communication skills, with greater team building skills than they had when they entered. This is something that AI or any other remote learning practice could not replicate. The teacher is the facilitator. The student is both the learner and the teacher. The relationship between the teacher and the student in higher education is highly symbiotic. And that, I believe, is the biggest reward of teaching. I need students who are so young, so positive, so full of energy. They give off that energy. The teacher, with her experience, with her pedagogy, with the kind of session plan she has created, she structures that energy to have very, very meaningful learning outcomes. And that is something that a vibrant classroom creates, generates, and amplifies. I feel students enter the classroom, enrich themselves, enrich each other, enrich the teacher, enrich the institution. So teaching is mini nation building, where we teach children how to apply theoretical concepts to real-world situations and solve real-world problems. Teaching is not just a profession, it is a vocation. I would describe myself as an accidental teacher. I entered by accident, but I stayed by choice. Welcome to the world of teaching and learning. It's a life-changing experience. Thank you.